It's small, it's round, it's powered by what sounds like a caffeinated sewing machine, and it somehow became one of the best-selling cars in history. This is the Volkswagen Beetle, the car that went from Nazi propaganda to hippie icon to retirement in Mexico, and somehow never stopped smiling while doing it. Welcome to Auto Chatter, where facts, opinion, and speculation will be given. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and let us begin. Our story starts in the 1930s, when a guy with a tiny mustache and massive trust issues asked Ferdinand Porsche to begin to design a people's car. The goal? Fit 2 adults, 3 kids, and have a top speed of 62 miles per hour. Price? 990 Reichsmarks, or about $400 US then, or $8,500 today. Technically, it was later found that Ferdinand Porsche borrowed the design concept from a man named Béla Barényi, a Hungarian engineer who created it in 1925. Anyway, the German government had a coupon book for folks to get a people's car. You threw enough money towards it and eventually got a bug of your own, but few got one because World War II arrives. The Beetle becomes a war machine. With a German Jeep-type ride called a Kübelwagen, later we know as the Thing, that was Beetle-based, and civilian production stops. There's also a Schwimmwagen that was an amphibious version. After the war, British officer Major Ivan Hurst restarts the factory in 1945 because Henry Ford had dibs but felt these cars were stupid, and Volkswagen gets handed back over to civilian control later to Heinz Nordhoff. By 1949, the first Beetles crawl into the U.S., all 2 of them. Yeah, 2. You could have fit the entire U.S. Beetle Owners Club in a single booth at Denny's. In 1950, sales hit a whopping 150 cars. The Beetle had a 1.1-liter 25-horse engine, which is about the same as a modern riding lawnmower, but it was cheap. $1,280 new, about $15,500 today. By 1955, the split rear window was replaced with an oval one. The engine grew to 1.2 liters and 36 horsepower, and the VW had built for 1 million worldwide by then. In an era of Cadillacs with tail fins the size of surfboards, the Beetle was the strange little cousin who showed up at the barbecue wearing lederhosen. By 1960, sales exploded to 150,000 in the U.S. Clever ads told people to think small, and Americans actually listened. Probably the last time that happened. As the 1960s carried on, the Beetle got a larger windshield, 12-volt electrical system, and 40 horsepower. Price was $1,565, or about $15,000 now. The hippies embraced the car, as it not only represented a counterculture movement, but they were cheap to buy and keep on the road. Kind of ironic considering its origins prior to World War II. Anyway, by 1968, with the Love Bug in theaters, U.S. sales peaked at 423,008 cars. The Beetle was now officially more famous than most Hollywood actors, and unlike them, it didn't demand a trailer stocked with imported spring water and M&Ms, all only in one color. In 1970, the Beetle got a 1.6-liter engine with 57 horsepower. That's right. After over 30 years, it finally had the power of a small outboard motor. 1971 saw the Super Beetle, with McPherson struts and a larger front trunk. This was an effort to make a vehicle that was already quaint in design, modern-ish. Price was $1,799, about $13,000 today. Sales matched the '68 record, 423,008. Suspiciously identical, as if VW just copy-pasted that number. Then came 1973's oil crisis. While big V8 owners cried into their empty wallets, Beetle drivers smugly cruised past gas stations getting 28 miles per gallon. Slightly better than what a Ford F-150 can get now, but that's progress for you. In 1975, fuel injection arrives for U.S. models, and by '77, hardtop sales ended in the U.S. Only the convertible survived after that. Its modern front-wheel drive replacement, the Rabbit, was rapidly replacing the Bug, even if its sales numbers paled in comparison to the Beetle's late '60s to early '70s glory days. The final U.S. Beetle convertibles rolled out in 1979, costing $6,000 or $26,000 today. There was a triple white edition that looked like Studio 54 on wheels, or a black-on-black epilogue edition that each U.S. VW dealer got one for sale. Actually had one of those briefly myself. The Beetle disappeared from U.S. showrooms, but production rolled on in Mexico and Brazil. In Mexico during the 80s, you could buy a brand new Bug for about $4,000, around $11,000 today. They were everywhere and still something you see running around in 2025. Could have been a taxi or a police car too at one point. Has to be embarrassing to get pulled over by a 60 horsepower Bug. Anyway, by 1994, VW had built 21 million of them, making it the Rolling Stones of cars, old, beloved, and somehow still touring. Beetle sightings, even 20 years after new ones were available in the U.S., were still not a rare thing to see on the road. Try saying that about some other cars over the years. In 2003, after 65 years, the final Beetle rolled off the line in Puebla, Mexico. It had a 1.6-liter 50-horse engine, came in Aquarius blue or Harvest Moon beige, and cost $7,000, about $11,200 today. I rented a late model Beetle around 2002 in Mexico. It was cool that it basically looked, drove, and felt like a Bug from the 70s. But even Mexico succumbed to newer design cars, government concerns for safety on two-door taxis for drivers, and updated emissions and crashworthiness requirements. That car design that predated World War II wasn't possible to maintain. Final tally, 21,529,464 Beetles built. Not bad for a car that started life as a government project with some very, very bad PR. The Beetle's secret? Simplicity. Air-cooled flat 4. No radiator, no coolant, less to leak. 4 bolts, some wiring, and disconnecting a fuel line, and you could do an engine swap quicker than replacing a headlight bulb in some cars today. Rear engine meant better snow traction, and if you wanted, you could unbolt the body and turn it into a dune buggy in a weekend. 4-speed manual only, not counting some semi-automatic auto sticks that lacked a clutch pedal. Swing axle suspension that later went on to CV axles by the late 60s. And a sound that was equal parts sewing machine and angry bee. Sure, it wasn't fast, but it would get you to your destination, even if your destination was just the next town over because it was overheating. There has not been a new one for sale in the U.S. for over 45 years now, but Bug sightings are still a thing, even outside of car shows. From Hitler's drawing board to hippie parking lots to Mexican City taxis, the Volkswagen Beetle proved you don't need big horsepower to make a big impact. You just need charm, durability, and the ability to fit 4 clowns in the back seat. The Bug may be gone, but like the smell of old vinyl seats, it never really is going to disappear. Anyway, this has been my Type 1 Beetle chatter, and I do hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like, please, and comment to let me know. Till next time, I'll be keeping the headlights on for you, and chatter out.